Hey guys, what's up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. So today, as per usual, let's go over Tesla and let's go over the market. Let's figure out what has happened, what we can dissect from this, especially moving forward and all of that good stuff. If you enjoyed the video, as usual, please don't forget to hit that like button. It does help a lot. Of course, this is not financial advice. Make your own decisions, do your own research. I am not a financial advisor. And of course, I also have my membership section live for $2.99. We're over 110 members now, which is pretty sweet. And I essentially share my intraday thoughts with you guys. As Tesla moves, as things happen, as major levels get reached and etc. I pretty much share what I say in this video, but intraday as it happens live. And that's, the link is down below for that. But regardless, let's just jump right into it because we had a very interesting day, but more interestingly of a close. We'll go over all of that. So Tesla looking like it'll be closing at 1.36% in the green, putting us at almost $204 compared to the market. It was actually performing kind of in line with the market for the most part until just the last, I don't know, maybe what is this? How long has it been? The last 10 minutes of trading, just some serious buy orders came in the last section of the day. You can see the volume completely skyrocketing here. And Tesla, it had issues staying above 200 for the majority of the day, really. It actually fell down pretty aggressively too. And in my member section, I discussed how the bears essentially, if they want to go lower, they want to be breaking, what did I say? I could bring it up over here. You guys can see it, honestly. I said right here, 196 is what the bulls want to stay above, but the bears want to capture or go underneath, right? It's very, very important. If bears win the battle, first level down says 193. Yeah, it was right here. The bears did take out 196, right? And we pretty much fell down pretty much exactly to 196, but you can see we never actually closed a candle below 196, right? We pretty much were just right at it. We did go below it, but we never closed the candle below it. So that's pretty interesting to, I guess, pay attention to, right? But with that being said, the fact that we came down here and bounced up is a really good sign so far, at least for now. And the fact that we had this insane close into the end of the day is also a good sign for the bulls. So this is going to be interesting to see. Now, the most important levels, and this is what I shared in my membership Discord YouTube section. If the bulls want to unlock further levels, right? Again, maybe up to 208 to 210 will be the first level. This level after that will be all the way as high as 215 to potentially even 218, maybe 220, but around that kind of, mid 215 to 220-ish level. However, in order to unlock that, and this is looking decent so far. I mean, it's a bit of a excuse me, a bit of a bearish divergence setting up, but that doesn't mean it has to play out just yet. But we have a candle finally closing up above on these levels, which it hasn't before, right? A candle closing up here. You can see every time we've been up in this area, we've gotten smacked down pretty aggressively each time. This is the first time in this little congestion period that we've actually closed a level or closed a candle at this level, which is good. But more importantly, what the bulls really want to do, maybe even tomorrow, is going to be a move past this kind of 204, 0.4, 0.5, something like that ish level. That's gonna be extremely important, right? If we can break that, if the bulls can break that, that is where, in my opinion, the next levels will most likely get unlocked, and most likely will come up to first, again, 207 to 210. If that breaks, 215 to potentially 220, right? Those are the two major levels. After that, I'll be surprised if we go much higher before at least some pullback, some chill out period, because at that point this move up would have been way too aggressive, way too fast. So just keep that in mind, right? Even if we do go up there, that's when you really want to start taking some caution, because even though I do think ultimately we will go higher, it wouldn't happen right then, right there. You know what I mean? It will take some time, kind of recapture, chill out, most likely come back down. So again, as an example, this is what I personally foresee. Assuming that this bullish scenario plays out, I personally think something like this will happen. Let's go to the 2-hour chart. Actually, no, 4-hour chart is fine. We'll do 4-hour chart. For instance, I think something like this will come out or play. So let's say we break, the bullish scenario plays out. We go up to somewhere around here, give or take, 210, 215, 220 maybe, right? But somewhere up there, those levels will go up to. Then I think we'll get a retrace. And I think we'll come down like this. And I think we'll come down, actually get a proper retest like this, come down to probably the 190s. Assuming we don't fall back under, which would be pretty bearish if we do. If we come back down here and this fails to hold and this ends up being a false breakout and we fall back under like this, and especially break this, pretty bearish. I'm not gonna lie, that'll be extremely bad. It's always a possibility. You never want to exclude these situations, right? If you're only a bull or if you're only a bear, assuming you're trading, of course, even to some extent, if you're only looking at it from one perspective, you're making a mistake. You always want to take in both considerations, both aspects, and be ready for both scenarios, in my opinion. If you're just investing and holding, I don't know why you're even here. But with that being said, I do think that ultimately The ideal scenario is the bullish scenario plays out up here, goes down, retests this breakout that we had on this blue line right here. And then from there, we go up even higher, like well into the 200s, right? That is kind of what I think can happen for the bullish scenario. The bearish scenario will be as follows. One bearish scenario, of course, will be we still go up here, but then we fail to retest it successfully. We just fall back under. That'll be bearish scenario number one. That's like a slightly bullish into a pretty bearish scenario. However, if you want to go just straight bearish from here, let's say you're someone holding puts and you need some copium right now, right? You need something to give you hope, right? The thing will be, first of all, the RSI, in the 1 hour showing a little bit of a bullish or a bearish divergence, right? If we go to the 3 hour, the 4 hour even, right? All showing a bit of a bearish divergence, right? You can see as we're making higher highs, we're absolutely not even remotely close to making higher highs on the RSI, right? We're even lower than this level down here. We're lower than this level here. Even though the candle is ultimately closing at a higher level than any of these two levels in the RSI show where the candles, have closed, right? So that's a bit of a bearish divergence setting up. I wouldn't say it's like an immediate, like crazy, like astronomical, watch out bearish divergence, but it's absolutely not something you should just completely ignore, in my opinion. On top of that, the bears also really don't want to see this like kind of 204 to maybe even 205 level break. Like they really want to hold below that. Similar to how the bulls, we came down all the way here and the bears really try to push us back down into the channel, but the bulls stepped in right where it mattered and actually closed back above this channel, and even better, above 200. The fact that the bulls were able to do that, the bears want to essentially do the flip of that, both that 204 and a half to 205-ish level. You know what I mean? If the bulls ever bring it back up here, the bears really want to suck it back down as fast as possible and get it back closer to 200, ideally below 200. So I was saying earlier in my Discord how I personally thought that, the bulls seem to be losing slightly, but this was right before, literally like 3 minutes before this absolutely astronomical buy order came in. I don't know what this was, who this was, why. Maybe they know something, maybe they don't. I don't know. Maybe someone was covering. Who knows what the cause is? But literally 3 minutes before this buy order came in, Tesla was having issues. You can see closing above 200, right? Or going above 200 and holding right here, and even here was having issues until this buy order just came in and pretty much skyrocketed it back up, which is phenomenal. But yeah, so that's kind of the main things I am personally seeing as of right now, ladies and gentlemen, right? Also, again, taking a quick look at TSLQ. If there is a place to bounce, it pretty much needs to be literally right now for TSLQ. And if it doesn't, it will go substantially lower, which, well, not substantially lower, but absolutely go lower. If we go to the daily chart, right, it'll absolutely go lower, maybe even as low as this 41-ish level, if not probably all the way down to maybe like kind of 40 and a half, right? Which most likely will be the level that brings Tesla back up to around, maybe 210 as high as 220 even, like best case scenario. So until I do think Tesla will get a breather, and I do think, I'm very confident it will, if it comes up here, make its way back down like this, bounce probably, and then either go like this or fail and then go down lower. But it will happen. I know people will be upset because they think Tesla just only goes up and it just pretty much like just does this and only this and nothing else. I know a lot of people are think that, but unfortunately that's not the case. And things, of course, in stocks always zigzag. But again, so far I will say Tesla, even though it's our size getting a little bit overbought, ultimately as a trend, it's looking, in my opinion, pretty bullish. It's not looking bad at all. That's not to say that, pullback is bad. In fact, I would argue a pullback, especially after this run up, if we get it, is healthy, completely normal. And I personally will be further adding on that dip if we get that, which I do think we will. I do have shares right now. I did buy a bunch of shares this morning at like 199, and I instantly sold calls against them. As a hedge, obviously not pretty much at 200, obviously a little bit higher, but I did sell calls as a hedge. So that, if we do rally, not only do I get to sell at a higher price, made, like 6% on just the shares alone, I bought an okay amount of shares, but I also get that premium, right? So that's the way I like to play it. And of course, if Tesla does fall back into like the 190s, like well into the 190s, I will either just straight up pick up more shares or I will just do cash secured puts. But that's kind of the way I'm looking at it and the way I am playing it. Let's take a look at the VIX very quickly. Still not finding any life. Now, very important, guys, important to understand this. Just in terms of overall macro, there is, of course, the debt ceiling, right? It, got approved. Today is supposed to be another vote. If this vote passes through, then I think it goes even to the next stage, essentially, I think to Congress, I believe. That has to get approved there. And apparently, then it has to go over to Biden's desk and he has to sign it. So there's still a lot of steps there, right? Today is the first, next major step, which is, I think both parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, have to sign the bill, essentially approve it. And then it goes to the Senate, I believe. Senate or Congress, I can't remember. I'm getting all these terms mixed up right now as I'm trying to think quickly. But regardless, and then it goes to that next step, right? Which I think will happen like Friday or Saturday. And then I think this all has to be pretty much done, ready to go, signed by Biden, I think by Monday, if I'm not mistaken, the 5th of June. So there's not a lot of time left. And if this doesn't happen, if let's say today the votes don't approve and like one party doesn't really like the bill because of, it's not, they don't agree with it for, whatever reason, of course, is politics, right? But if that happens and it doesn't, that's pretty fucking bad, man. That'll be really, really bad, by the way. So that will pretty much, in my opinion, play out the bearish scenario of Tesla that I explained, where I think this will be a false breakout. We'll probably come down to around 180, maybe even like as low as 180, I think. But as long as it doesn't break below this channel here, in my opinion, it's a beautiful opportunity to buy the dip. And then you go from there. But that's just kind of how I'm seeing it. So regardless, guys, I don't think there's too much room up on Tesla from here. I don't think it's going to be a crazy run, even if we do the bullish scenario, right? Not an insane amount of run room here, mainly because we already ran so aggressively. And keep in mind, when you get these aggressive runs like this, just like straight up like this, not only does it not last that long, but it also tends to be pretty aggressive back to the downside. That's just kind of how it works, right? That's why usually when you get these very violent moves up or down, you want to be careful with those guys, both ways, of course. Just keeping that, I already know when you get some comments, I'll be like, you're a Tesla bear. You're a bear. But I just say it how I see it. If that upsets you, hey, it sucks to be you. But that's kind of how I'm currently seeing it. So let me know what you guys think down below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button. The markets are looking a little bit red right now. I'm not really sure what happened. Maybe some news came out that I didn't see. I'll have to check. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.